Hello. Have you ever wondered why your blood pressure is higher in the morning, even if you've eaten carefully the night before? Or why does your doctor always tell you to measure your blood pressure after waking up? If you're taking your blood pressure medication regularly, but still wake up feeling dizzy, tired, or having a pounding heart, this video is for you. A recent study from the American Heart Association found that more than 60% of people over the age of 60 experience morning hypertension, even if they're on stable medication. So why is this important? When you wake up, the hormone cortisol surges to wake your body up. That means your blood pressure also rises rapidly. But if you don't have habits that help dilate your blood vessels, relax your nervous system, and regulate your circulation in the first 60 minutes of the day, your blood pressure medication won't be able to control this spike. The good news, you don't necessarily need to take more medication. In many cases, what you do or skip right after waking up is what determines your blood pressure throughout the day. Here are some of the habits that people with long lives do every morning to keep their blood pressure stable, and the science behind each one. 5 starting of day habits that help stabilize blood pressure naturally without taking more medication. 1. Don't jump up right away. Lie down for 3 more minutes. Here's something most doctors do and tell you. Jumping up too quickly after waking up can cause a sudden spike in blood pressure, even causing dizziness, falls, or strokes in older adults. Dr. Gerald Simmons, a geriatrician in California, explains, when you are sleeping, your blood pressure and heart rate are low. Suddenly changing positions does not allow blood to rush to the brain, leading to a strong hypertensive reflex, especially in people over 60 years old. Instead of jumping up, you should lie on your side, gently stretch your arms and legs for 2-3 minutes. Then slowly sit up, take a deep breath, and then stand up. This habit sounds simple, but according to a survey from the Mayo Clinic, it can help reduce the risk of sudden high blood pressure in the early morning by 15-20. 2. Drink a glass of warm water before leaving the bedroom. When you sleep for 6-8 hours, your body becomes dehydrated without even realizing it. This deficiency causes blood to thicken, slows circulation, and increases blood pressure easily. A glass of warm, not cold water helps wake up the parasympathetic nervous system, which naturally dilates blood vessels and lowers blood pressure. A study at the University of Colorado found that drinking just 300,400 ml of warm water every morning can improve vascular elasticity and reduce systolic blood pressure by an average of 7-10 mmHg in older adults in the first 30 minutes of the day. Robert, 72 years old, who used to live in Arizona, shared that drinking water as soon as he woke up helped him reduce the feeling of heaviness in his head, and his blood pressure dropped from 145/92 to 130/85 after only 3 weeks of regular application. 3. Take a slow walk indoors or outdoors in natural light. It doesn't have to be strenuous exercise. Just walking slowly for 5-10 minutes in the morning sunlight can make a big difference. Morning sunlight helps the body produce nitric oxide, a substance that helps dilate blood vessels and naturally lower blood pressure. Harvard University once published a study on more than 2,000 older adults, in which the group exposed to early morning light for 15 minutes a day had 22% more stable blood pressure than the group that did not go outside. Evelyn, 75 years old, in Minnesota, has kept the habit of walking around the flower garden in front of her house every morning for 10 years. I don't know if that's the secret, but since I've been doing this, I no longer need to increase my medication like before. I feel better and sleep better, she said. 4. Practice the 4-2-6 breathing exercise, which only takes 3 minutes but has effects that last all day. Your autonomic nervous system has two branches, sympathetic when stressed and parasympathetic when relaxed. Simple breathing in the morning helps activate the relaxing branch, thereby slowing your heart rate and lowering your blood pressure. How to do it? Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 2 seconds. Exhale slowly for 6 seconds. Repeat for 3-5 minutes after drinking water or after walking. This method has been proven in Japan and is recommended by many cardiologists for the elderly. 5. Do not drink coffee before breakfast or light exercise. Coffee increases adrenaline, a hormone that causes the heart to beat faster and blood pressure to temporarily increase. Many people have the habit of drinking coffee as soon as they wake up without eating or exercising, causing blood pressure to increase sharply without realizing it. I'm not saying coffee is bad, but if you drink it on an empty stomach, it's like adding fuel to the fire. Especially in people over 60, this reaction is stronger, said Dr. Karen Young, a metabolic specialist in New York. The best recommendation is to drink coffee after you have. Drink warm water. Have a light meal or walk. Practice regular breathing. By then, your body will have stabilized, and the coffee will become a mild stimulant that is beneficial, rather than increasing the pressure on the cardiovascular system. Breakfast habits that silently push up your blood pressure. Did you know that what you eat within 60 minutes of waking up can cause your blood pressure to remain stable all day or to spike uncontrollably? A recent survey from the American Academy of Geriatric Nutrition said about 45% of people over 60 still eat breakfast in the same old way, with white bread, strong coffee with milk, or skip meals. These are the 3 most common factors that contribute to silent hypertension after age 60. Here are 3 breakfast mistakes that can cause your blood pressure to rise without you even realizing it, and simple changes to turn breakfast into a natural medicine every day. 1. Skipping breakfast, which seems light on the stomach, actually causes blood pressure to rise. Many older adults say they don't feel hungry in the morning, so they just drink water or coffee until noon. But the truth is that when you don't refuel after a long night, your body responds by producing cortisol and adrenaline to maintain blood sugar, and these 2 hormones increase blood pressure. Skipping breakfast puts your body in a state of physiological stress, which increases your heart rate, constricts blood vessels, and leads to higher than normal blood pressure, says Boston endocrinologist Lisa Graham. The solution is simple. You don't need to eat much, but snack on some protein like hard-boiled eggs, plain Greek yogurt, some good fats like nut butter, olive oil, and some complex carbohydrates, oats, whole wheat bread. That's enough to prevent an unwanted spike in blood pressure. 2. White bread, pastries, instant cereals, subtle enemies of blood pressure. Many people think that eating bread, cookies, or cereal mixed with milk for breakfast is a light and reasonable habit. But in fact, this is a group of foods with a high glycemic index, causing blood sugar to spike and blood pressure to increase as well. A study published in the Journal of Hypertension said, people who consume refined carbs for breakfast often have systolic blood pressure 10-15 mmHg higher than people who choose whole grain and protein foods. Mr. Michael, 70 years old, living in Florida, used to eat cereal every morning and had to take 2 types of blood pressure medication. After being advised by a nutritionist to switch to a breakfast of boiled eggs, avocado, and a slice of whole wheat bread, he only needed 1 pill and his blood pressure remained more stable than before. 3. Breakfast lacks potassium and magnesium, a pair of minerals that naturally lower blood pressure. If you only pay attention to salt and not to its mineral counterpart, you are missing out on a natural shield against high blood pressure. Potassium and magnesium help relax blood vessels, balance sodium levels, and reduce stress on the heart. Here are some potassium and magnesium-rich foods that long-lived people often add to their breakfast. Ripe bananas. Almonds 5-7 nuts. Unsweetened Greek yogurt. Oatmeal cooked with water or nut milk. Spinach lightly sautéed with olive oil. A survey in Japan, which has the highest proportion of people over 90 years old in the world, showed that 95% of elderly people in Okinawa Prefecture eat breakfast with at least 2 foods rich in potassium and fiber. And almost no one has chronic hypertension after age 70. 4. Don't forget to drink water with breakfast, but don't use canned fruit juice. A common mistake is to drink bottled orange juice or apple juice in the morning in the hope of getting a vitamin boost. Unfortunately, most packaged juices contain more than 20 grams of sugar per serving, and sugar is a known insulin-stimulating agent, which can lead to a rise in blood pressure after eating. Better yet, opt for plain water, or warm water with a fresh lemon wedge, or homemade vegetable juice if you really want to juice. 5. Add cinnamon and flax seeds, a little-known spice that lowers blood pressure. Cinnamon is more than just a flavoring for baked goods. It also improves insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, and helps stabilize blood pressure. A 2021 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found adding 1-2 grams of cinnamon per day can reduce systolic blood pressure by an average of 5 mmHg in people with prehypertension. Flax seeds also contain plant omega-3s and lignans, compounds that relax blood vessels. You can add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed to your morning oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothie. In the next section, you will learn about common mistakes after breakfast, including seemingly harmless activities that cause blood pressure to spike without anyone noticing, and how to effectively control them every day. Common mistakes that affect blood pressure. You've had a healthy breakfast, gone for a light walk, drank enough water, and breathed deeply. But just a few common mistakes right after breakfast can make all those efforts go to waste. Many people don't know that their blood pressure doesn't increase due to genetics or the weather, but due to seemingly harmless post-breakfast habits. 1. Sitting too long after breakfast, the silent culprit that causes high blood pressure. You finish breakfast and sit watching the morning news for 1-2 hours, or read the newspaper, play games on your phone. It sounds harmless, but a report from Tufts University shows older adults who sit continuously for more than 90 minutes after breakfast without light exercise have an average blood pressure that is 12-15 mmHg higher than the group of people who stand up and walk around a few times during the same time frame. Dr. Lewis Patterson, a cardiologist in Ohio, emphasizes that sitting for a long time after eating slows down blood circulation, constricts blood vessels, and increases pressure on the heart, especially in people over 65. The solution is simple. Stand up and walk around the house for 2-3 minutes every 30-45 minutes after eating. You don't have to do much. Just walking around the room a few times, watering plants, or folding clothes is enough to improve circulation and keep blood pressure stable. 2. Checking email or reading anxiety-provoking news right at the beginning of the day. Many people have the habit of opening their phones or computers to read news, reply to emails, or check social networks right after breakfast. The problem is, the content you are exposed to at the beginning of the day can directly affect your body's stress response, and stress is one of the leading causes of high blood pressure. A 2022 survey from the American Psychological Association found that older adults who are exposed to negative news immediately after waking up tend to have significantly higher blood pressure than those who start their day with relaxing music or a quiet environment. I used to read the political news every morning. I was always angry or anxious. After my doctor suggested meditating or listening to soothing music for 15 minutes every morning, I noticed my heart rate slowed down, my mind was clearer, and my blood pressure was significantly lower. The solution: delay exposure to the news or stressful devices for at least 45–60 minutes after waking up. Instead, listen to soothing music, read a positive book, or go gardening. 3. Taking a long hot bath in the morning, which may seem relaxing, actually stimulates the cardiovascular system. Taking a hot shower in the morning may feel good, but if you stay in a closed bathroom with hot water for too long, your body will react by suddenly dilating your blood vessels. Then constrict them after going out into the cold air, which causes a huge change in blood pressure. According to the Cleveland Clinic Heart Center, seniors should limit their morning shower time to 10–12 minutes with moderately warm water. Do not shower on an empty stomach or immediately after eating. Alice, 73 years old, living in Seattle, used to feel a little dizzy when she got out of the shower in the winter. After adjusting her habits, eating breakfast first, keeping the bathroom well ventilated, and limiting her shower time, she no longer had a sudden increase in blood pressure in the morning. 4. Taking blood pressure medication at the wrong time. A common mistake is taking blood pressure medication as soon as you open your eyes or immediately after breakfast, regardless of the type of medication. But not all blood pressure medications should be taken early in the morning. Some blood pressure medications, such as ACE inhibitors or diuretics, should be taken in the morning after a light meal, but others work better in the evening, says Deborah Harris, MD, a clinical pharmacist in Denver. Taking the wrong time can reduce effectiveness and cause fluctuations in blood pressure. Solution: ask your doctor or pharmacist about the right time to take your medication. Also, keep taking your medication at the same time every day to help your body establish a stable circadian rhythm. 5. Not monitoring your blood pressure in the morning. Lacking data, difficult to control. Some people only measure their blood pressure when they feel dizzy or have a headache. But that's a risky habit. Many cases of blood pressure increase silently without obvious symptoms. And if you don't monitor it regularly, you won't know if you're controlling your blood pressure well. According to the American Heart Association, people over 60 should measure their blood pressure at home at least 3 to 4 times a week in the morning, right after waking up and before taking medication or eating. The correct way to measure is sit still for 5 minutes before measuring. Lean back and place your arm at heart level. Measure 2 times, 1 minute apart, and record the average result. You don't need to write it down on paper. You can use a meter with a storage function or take notes on your phone. You may not be able to change your age, but you can completely control how you start each day. Morning habits don't take much effort, don't cost much money. But if maintained regularly, you can significantly reduce the risk of high blood pressure, even reduce your dependence on medication. 5-minute breathing exercises every morning, a natural break for blood pressure without medication. Have you ever noticed that just a moment of anxiety or anger can cause your blood pressure to spike in just a few minutes? This is not due to food or medication, but because your nervous system reacts too quickly to stress. On the contrary, if you know how to regulate this nervous system from the beginning of the day, your blood pressure will stabilize naturally. A 2021 study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association showed that older adults who performed slow, deep, controlled breathing exercises for 5–10 minutes every morning reduced their systolic blood pressure by an average of 9 mmHg after just 6 weeks, equivalent to the effectiveness of a low-dose blood pressure medication. Dr. Catherine Ruiz, a cardiologist at Mount Sinai, calls it the circulatory system's natural brake. When you regulate your breathing, you're sending a signal to the parasympathetic nervous system, which relaxes the heart, reduces vascular resistance, and brings blood pressure back to a safe level Long-lived people don't usually call it a breathing exercise. They simply see it as a way to start the day in silence. George, 93 years old, of Colorado, sits by the window every morning, closes his eyes, and just breathes. When asked how he does it, he says, "I breathe in through my nose, count to 4, hold it for 2 seconds, and then breathe out through my mouth very slowly and gently, count to 6. I do that about 20 times before I start anything else." George's breathing is actually a variation of a technique called resonant breathing, which doctors at Stanford University recommend for patients with high blood pressure and anxiety disorders. You don't need a gym, no equipment, no trainer. All you need is a chair and 5 minutes of quiet time. Dr. Ruiz suggests this sequence for people over 60. Sit up straight, not leaning back in your chair. Close your eyes. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. You should feel your belly rise, not your chest. Hold your breath for 2 seconds. Exhale gently through your mouth for 6 seconds, feeling your belly fall. Repeat 10 to 15 times. If you have trouble keeping count, use a watch or listen to slow instrumental music at around 60-65 beats per minute. Alice, a 90-year-old from Michigan, says her morning breathing routine also helps her reduce anxiety and sleep better at night. "I used to wake up with a racing heart and a racing mind. Now I feel like my brain resets every morning." Another little-known benefit: slow breathing also helps reduce arterial stiffness, one of the leading causes of high blood pressure in older adults. A 2023 National Institute on Aging survey of more than 2,000 older adults found that those who practiced slow breathing for 5-10 minutes every morning had 40% lower blood pressure fluctuations than those who did not. Some people used to think that meditation or deep breathing was something for young people or religious people. But in fact, it is one of the most scientifically proven methods for regulating blood pressure, reducing stress, and even reducing the need for medication. If you want to keep your blood pressure under control without relying entirely on medication, control what you can: your breathing, your mood, your body's response. And that starts with the first breath you take when you open your eyes, concludes Dr. Ruiz. In the final section, you'll hear real-life stories from doctors and seniors who have lived with high blood pressure and how they transformed their lives by simply changing their morning routine. Stories of people who lessened their dependence on blood pressure medication by changing their morning routine. Most people who are taking blood pressure medication have the same question: is there a way to reduce my dependence on medication and still keep my blood pressure under control? The answer lies not in a pill, but in daily habits, especially in the morning. The story of Thomas, 74 years old, who lives in Iowa. When Thomas first saw his doctor after a mild dizziness in the bathroom, his blood pressure was 165/100ths. He was on 2 medications and still felt tired every morning. After his doctor advised him to monitor his blood pressure more closely and make a few adjustments in the morning, he made the following changes. Don't jump up as soon as you open your eyes. Drink a glass of warm water and walk around the yard for 10 minutes. Eat oatmeal, avocado, and boiled eggs for breakfast. Avoid stressful news in the first 2 hours of the day. Write down your blood pressure every morning. After 2 months, Thomas's blood pressure stabilized at 128/82. After 6 months, his doctor allowed him to cut his medication in half. Because his numbers had improved so much, I didn't do anything drastic. I just changed the way I started my day. I no longer felt completely dependent on medication. I felt like I was taking control of my life again, he said. Expert insight: what doctors wish older patients knew about morning blood pressure. Monica Hayes, MD, a cardiologist in New Jersey, shared at a recent conference. If I could tell older patients one thing, it would be medication is part of, but not a substitute for, lifestyle. 80% of your blood pressure is determined by your circadian rhythm, your sleep, your morning routine, and your stress level. She emphasized that when patients adopt a controlled lifestyle, including eating on time, doing light morning exercise, not skipping meals, sleeping regularly, and not being stressed in the morning, the medication can work better, and the dosage can also be gradually reduced. The story of Carol, 81 years old, living in Maine. Carol used to be called a drug addict because every morning she had to take 3 pills, a blood pressure medicine, a diuretic, and a mild sedative because of stress. She shared that her life revolved around the time she took the medicine, and her mornings always started with a feeling of anxiety. One day, her grandson, a medical student, suggested she try something. Don't touch your phone, TV, or news for the first 2 hours. Just walk with me for 10 minutes. I want to see how you feel. From that simple thing, Carol began to make more changes. She recorded her sleep every night. Wake up a little earlier so you don't rush. Listen to soft music after breakfast. Do breathing exercises every morning and meditate for 5 minutes. After 3 months, her blood pressure gradually dropped from 150/90ths to 130/78ths. Her doctor took her off the sedative, and her blood pressure medication was reduced to just 1 pill at night. I thought I had to live like this forever. But now I understand that old age doesn't mean powerlessness. Every morning I wake up without fear, knowing I'm doing the right thing for my heart, she says. From advice to action, where should you start? You don't have to change everything at once. Start with just one thing tomorrow. Lie down for 3 more minutes before getting out of bed. Or drink warm water instead of coffee right after waking up. Or eat a banana or some oatmeal before taking your medicine. A small habit every morning, repeated every day, will make a big difference in a few weeks. No one else can do it for you. Not medication, not doctors, but you every morning are the one who controls your blood pressure. End of video. Message to people living with high blood pressure. If you are living with blood pressure medication every day, know that you are not alone and you are not helpless. You have the choice to start each morning in a better, slower, and more controlled way. We do not live to take medication. We take medication to have a better chance at life. But if you change the way you live, you may not need medication anymore. Please share this video with your loved ones, elderly friends that you care about. Because who knows, just one small change in the morning can help someone avoid an unexpected stroke.